Hello, everybody. Welcome back to More Than Mail from House of Faith in Hudson, Florida. My name's Scott Fisher. Tonight, we're going to talk about doing mind surgery on ourselves. And I just want to clear it up. I'm not talking about brain surgery. Brain surgery requires some schooling and some expertise. Mind surgery does not. Mind surgery is the removal of things that are harmful and replacing them with something good, just like you would, say replacing a kidney or something like that. You take out the bad one, you put in the good one, and everything works great. And we are all able to do mind surgery. We can do mind surgery on ourselves, but not on each other. And that's an important thing to remember. So if you're thinking that you're going to correct how your wife thinks or anything like that, that's not how this works. And one thing to remember too is that we don't know where our thoughts come from. So we should probably be thankful for the thoughts that we have. What mind surgery comes down to, though, is the thoughts that we choose. And we can choose good, life-giving thoughts, or we can choose negative thoughts that bring us down and bring other people down. And so you could be a mind surgeon, just like I'm a mind surgeon and everybody else can be a mind surgeon. The thing to remember about mind surgery is that if you remove a negative, you have to replace it with a positive. Thinking that you can remove a negative and just leave a void is like thinking you can stick your finger in a glass of water and it leaves a hole. It doesn't. More water rushes in. And so if I remove a negative from my thoughts and I just let it go, then another negative might very well rush in, and it might be worse than the one that I removed. So we have to be careful. It's a conscious thing. It's something that we have to choose each thought as they come. We have to choose them, and then as we're doing that, we have to choose the words, because I can have a negative thought, but if I don't voice it, if I condemn it, if I put it away and replace it with a positive, then I'm still good to go. So something that is important to remember too is that thoughts are, James Allen says in his book As a Man Thinketh, that thoughts are like a garden, and you plant the seed, and a carefully cultivated garden where the weeds are pulled and it's got the right amount of sunlight, the right amount of water, and you take care of it and you pay attention to it, it's going to grow good fruit. It's going to be a beautiful garden. It's going to be exactly what you want. But if you plant the seed and then just let everything run wild, you never know where your thoughts are going to end up. So that's something that to keep in mind. Gardening is something that is covered quite extensively in the Bible. Also, the parables definitely go back to gardening, and it's true. If I'm very careful about how I tend my garden, then I'm going to get what I want. I'm going to get the fruits from that labor. And so let me give you an example of choosing thoughts. Those of you who are married, I'm sure you've been through a couple of things where somebody was mad at somebody or whatever. And I thought of one situation where I spent all day trying to figure out, first of all, what I had done, because my wife was mad at me and I knew it, but I didn't know why. And then I just spent the whole day thinking of what I was going to say, how I was going to defend myself. I was going to bring up all the stuff that she had said and blah, blah, blah. And so by the time it was time for me to walk in the door after work, I was ready to fight. And I walked in the bedroom and I was ready to go. I was just ready to let her have it. And she was sitting on the bed and she was reading, and she had this pretty little yellow ribbon in her hair, and she just looked really, really pretty. And before I could stop myself, I could stop myself from being positive, I told her that she looked really pretty, and that just changed everything. And we ended up talking about whatever it was that was wrong, and of course it was not important. It was nothing. Just like, it never is when we have these little fights. We escalate and we escalate and we escalate, and we want to be right and we want to be right and we want to come out on top. But what do you win? I mean, come on now. So that's an example. And again, that was Holy Spirit doing that, because at that point, I was ready. I was ready to go at it. So we got to think about these things. One word, one choice of a thought or a word that's better than what we were gonna do can change everything. And that changed the whole week. It changed the whole month. Things like that endear us to each other. And it's not that you're being a superstar, it's that you're letting the Holy Spirit lead you. And something about Holy Spirit too, and keep in mind, guys, I'm new at this, so all this stuff is revelation to me. Holy Spirit, and learning about Jesus and learning about God and everything, it's all new to me. It's all just fascinating and it's wonderful, and I love being part of it. But Holy Spirit to me is like my conscience. And if there's something tugging at me, and you're thinking something negative, or I'm thinking something dark, or whatever, and there's something tugging at me, I know that's him trying to get my attention. And I'm learning to stop and think about what I'm doing. Because it used to be that I would just let those weeds grow. Whatever came out, and that was it, and people just had to deal with it. But it doesn't have to be that way. And even if I'm thinking negatively, I don't have to voice it. And something I'm also learning is that when I put something out in the world, I can't take it back. But Satan loves that. Because once it's out there, he can get his hands on it. And he can twist it, and he can turn it, and he can use me. But if I don't let it get out there, then it's not going to hurt anybody. So I still have the freedom of choice at that point. So what I'm talking about with mind surgery is choosing our thoughts. Our thoughts, we don't know where they come from, so we should be thankful for them. Okay, I'm not a thought machine. Those thoughts come from somewhere. And I believe that they come from past experience, they come from, all kinds of different places, but they also come from God's Spirit. And unfortunately, they also come from Satan. And so we need to make that choice. We need to start training ourselves to be able to see the difference. Because it really does make all the difference in the world. And without a degree, without any kind of special training, without any kind of special schooling, you too can be a mind surgeon just like I am. So think about that, give that some thought, and start thinking about your thoughts before you put them out there, and see how it changes your life. Thanks for being with us on More Than Male. Have a good night.